Since the 1990s, farm laborers and their families from Mennonite colonies in northern Mexico have been immigrating to southwest Kansas, primarily due to the demand for agricultural labor. Their mother tongue, called Plattdeutsch, is known in English as Low German. Low refers to the altitude of the region in Europe from where their people came many, many years ago. Lisa Clausen, who's a migrant recruiter from southwest Kansas, and her mother, Helena, are going to talk to us about their culture and their people.
We were originally from Germany, and when World War I started, they went from Germany to Russia, and then they started their own schools, and that's when the Russian government wouldn't let them have their private schools. So then they went to, and then Canada was offering free land to the first, I think it was 160 families. They went to Canada. They started their own schools there, and they weren't allowed to have their private schools, or they wanted them to learn English 1 hour out of each day. They didn't want that to happen, so they went to Mexico in the 1927 is when they all went to Mexico. So now there's families, there's a lot of families in all over Mexico of German Mennonite families now. And then about 1980s, 1990s, that's when they came to Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. They don't understand the significance of school. In Mexico, you go to school till you're 12 or 13. Then you stay at home, cook, clean. If you're a girl, if you're a guy, you go and work and make money for the family. So to them, they hit 12 or 13, they don't feel like it's important to go anymore. That's probably something for the teachers to understand, because they're going to give up when they're closer to that age, because they know they're not going to have to go any further. Boys, they quit working about 8th grade, and they go and work for a farmer or just help their dad on the farm, or they drive tractor. And then the girls they'll quit about 8th grade also, and they'll go work at restaurants or babysit, clean houses, or stay at home and help their mom. They need to stress more of how important school is here, and why they go to school so long, and what each like when they're in high school or in junior high, what the different classes mean, because they don't really understand what the schools mean here. Mm-hmm. They don't understand the different, because in Mexico they have reading, writing, and math. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Mm-hmm. So they don't understand all the other subjects. Mm-hmm. Mainly those three is all they're going to understand, and why their children are doing them. Mm-hmm. Okay. History, social studies, that kind of stuff, mm-hmm. Art, they're not going to understand. They think like art and music, they think is irrelevant, and they don't need to do that at school. In Mexico, they can go get like the fan belt off of a vehicle, and they can beat them with that if they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So I think when they come to school here, they're more scared. And that's why they tend to be very quiet, I've noticed, at the schools. They're very quiet, and they keep to themselves, mm-hmm. if they came directly from Mexico.
They
think that high school, you learn too much about sex, drugs, and alcohol. That's how they look at it. They look at it as, you're going to learn too much, you're going to be too educated on it, and they want them to stop. And they think they can shelter them, I think, in other words, when they stop in 8th grade. Typically, I would say 18 or 19, that's when people start getting married. 17 sometimes in some cases. Mm-hmm. But usually before 20. 20 to them is considered an old maid. Average would be about 6 or 7 kids per family. They still do a lot of their own, like they bake their own stuff, they sew their own clothes. So that's different than what it would normally be in the United States. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I think they're all very hard work. Most are very hardworking. Mm-hmm. And the wives usually normally stay at home and cook and clean like they would have used to, mm-hmm. more than now. In America they don't do that. I think it's more of an oral language. I don't think the majority of them read. I know when I was a para at the school in Copeland, we would make calls when they had stuff going on. We would call every German-speaking family, and that usually got the message across. They would send notes, but the notes never, they didn't understand the notes. Okay, well, there's 4 levels in the Low German speaking. There's Oldkenia, Rheinlander, Kleinmeiter, and then Confidenza. Oldkenia would be more very held back. They don't want their kids to go to school until past 8th grade. The Rheinlander would be about the same way. They wear dark colors. The women normally have a head covering on. Then there's Kleinmeiter. They want their kids to finish, but they're most likely going to still wear the head covering and wear skirts. And then there's Confidenza. They want their kids to finish high school, and some do want their kids to finish and go to college also. And they look more modernized.
Dat wir så schwer an Anfang. Kem hierhan bis an die Kleider, das nicht. So schwer, ich könnte Sprech nicht reden. Ich hier wie ein Klein. Sehr schwer. Aber das wird leichter und das hier viel besser als dort. Was wir haben, wir nehmen die Wege an. Ich bin dort allein mit 2 kleinen Jahren. Ich glaube, mir bei die Grenze führen. Früher ist einmal durch den Wut an, trainen sie mich zu hören, stappten sie mich an. Meine beiden kleinen Jahren, und ich so schlag. Dann leiten sie mich los und kommen den anderen. Dann dort wir frisch, dann habe ich gerannt von Klock 8 bis Klock 12. Dat ik even kwam, geen meid, ongeld, allein met vreemden. Ik wilde gaan waar mijn MTV, mijn kinderen wilden bang en ziek, wie bang en zo. So dann kwamen we even en dan kwamen we bij samen, aber toen brachten ze mij. En toen pickten ze mij op en vierden mij naar Oklahoma. Dat we zo leeg is, ik is eenmaal even weg, dat zag ik kan waren in mijn MTV. Ich war 2 Monate allein, ganz ungeld. Nicht wiss, wie ich wieder soll. Aber das ist viel besser als das dort weg, wird nie nicht 3 Tischen.